I grew up also in a big city in Brussels, so the capital of Belgium. And every young kid, when you're a little bit sportive, you play football in school directly, on place and in the street a little bit. Yeah, my father was a fan of Anderlecht. Maybe you know the name Anderlecht. It was one of the biggest clubs. Now it's a little bit like Manchester United. They struggle. One dream to become a professional football coach. You know, in life, you have to follow sometimes your dreams. Don't give up your dreams, even it's not easy.
Yeah, Morocco are a team country. They made a big impact in the World Cup recently. So now I can ask you, because you have known that culture, their football. How did they get so good in football that they were reaching heights? They were beating teams like Portugal in the World Cup. What was the story behind it? All right, coach. First of all, thank you so much for coming to the podcast.
I'm very happy that you invite me. You promised me already a long time.
Yeah.
From the beginning when I arrived, and I'm almost 2 months here.
I was pretty scared at the moment because I felt like you're leaving early, and I felt like I couldn't do the podcast with you.
No, you have to separate a few things in life. Yeah. We train to win, we train to play, but not everybody can win a tournament. There's only one team, so you have to also be a little bit fair play and be ready for the next step in life, or the next challenge.
Okay. Before moving to football, I want to ask, you just went for a trip to Pokhara.
Yeah.
How was the trip?
I discovered another Nepal. You know, we arrived here and we started directly to train 2 times a day, and then focused only on performance of the team and try to get directly an idea of all my players and the staff and everything. And so we were only in hotel, training field, meeting room, hotel, training, meeting room, like this. And then finally everybody told me Nepal is a fine country. That's one of the reasons why I'm here also, because when in Belgium you talk about Nepal, hey, you go to Nepal. I say, yes, I go to Nepal.
Are you climbing Mount Everest? Did that cause some question?
No, this was one of the targets before I came here. But I think to climb the Mount Everest, I have to train myself also, even it's to the base camp. And I have to prepare myself like an athlete. And I was not prepared also. But a lot of people around me also were laughing. You have to take the bus long time, or you have to take the helicopter. Yes. So I was a little bit afraid also. That's true. Voilà. That's the thing. So we were in Pokhara, and then we discovered, because in Kathmandu, okay, in the evening, I've seen already the city center a few times, but that was totally different, and I really enjoyed it, Pokhara. Yeah, also visit the temples, 2 important temples there. It was nice. The people are also different. Mentality is that different. You feel this also. It's more like a holiday place, relaxed place. And every time when you talk to people, they always give the same answer: relaxation. And it was nice. And you know, water and people give always a holiday atmosphere. Yeah.
We call it the Las Vegas of Nepal.
Wow. So
for us Nepalese.
So, okay. So I was in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's like you go there, you relax. Especially when I get commentary work from Pokhara, it's not about the rate for me then. So I feel like I also go there to relax. So I'll compromise with the rates. And it's more about the city itself. It's a lake, I guess. Lake makes that calmness to people.
Sea and lake. I had a lot of nice places to work during my career, but the most of time was near the sea or the lake, and or a big river. We passed, like in Budapest in Hungary, past a big river through the city. So yeah, it gives always another atmosphere. Yeah, more relaxation and so on. So I love it.
So fun fact, the whole Kathmandu Valley, it was believed to be a pond. So there was this deity who came and chopped one of the hills.
Yeah.
So, and he drained the water. And then Kathmandu, Lalitpur, Bhaktapur, then they started coming and people started settling. So Kathmandu was also a big lake.
Okay.
Long ago. So that's... Okay. Because Nepal, Kathmandu itself is one of the oldest civilization in the world, right? You get to see so many cultures. Did you go to the Kathmandu Darbar Square?
Yeah, We visit now the last days. I think almost every place here was important. Yeah, I'm a really tourist now, so I stay after the tournament a week extra, 10 days extra to discover Nepal, and it's amazing.
Who took you around? Your manager, Utsav?
No, not the previous manager took me around.
Madhusudan.
Yeah, and a few other people also on the motorbike. So I was for my time when I was young to drive motorbike, and now I was sitting every 2 days, one time on the motorbike. So I feel myself like a young guy again.
It's nice. Fun.
Yeah, it's fun. But there's a lot of traffic also. I think it's the easiest way to place you from one side to another side. Huh? Yeah.
Traffic is one of the reasons I'm not getting the courage to buy a car, because before coming to pick you up, I had to go for a meeting in Lalitpur. Then I had to make my way all across it. It's like 6-7 kilometers, but in my motorcycle, it takes me around 40 minutes because there's some protest going on and everything. So the traffic is too hectic. So it's better in a two-wheeler, you can go through.
I agree, because after each training we did, we went to the stadium again to watch the next game, to scout. And also the first time, did you order a taxi? No, coach, we will bring you by moto. I say, okay, I'm not a young guy anymore. But it was faster and easier. Yeah.
Apart from Nepal, which was the busiest country in terms of traffic you've ever seen?
Oh, I can answer directly China. Yeah, so I was almost 4 years in China, 3 challenges there, and I was in Beijing, in Shanghai, and these things. There's the traffic also huge. But there the roads are bigger, and there you have also, you don't care about this traffic because there's an underground everywhere, subways, and you take directly the underground because the traffic is also true. Yeah.
But China is a developed country now.
Yeah. This is maybe so for what I've seen in my life, it's the most developed country. Even there also, it's I don't know how many percent, but so many electric cars, so many electric two-wheelers, also scooters, it's all electric. Telephones, it's amazing how they every time, even now, the taxis and the cars without driver. So you order by in what is the name here in?
We have Pathao and InDrive.
InDrive, yeah. So you order by InDrive a taxi, and it's coming before you, and there is no driver behind the wheel. So whoa. So, but yeah, that's evolution. Huh?
Sure.
10 years ago, nobody was thinking about electric cars, and then now, even myself, I have in Belgium an electric car, and yeah, I'd say it's also a little bit. We discussed a lot the last days with a lot of people around me. Football also changed a lot. Huh? The tempo in the football, the material of the football, even the fans, the way they look to the football, because they also are more and more involved by the social media. They can look, how is this, what is the concept, 4 against 2, what is this, that. Before, nobody informed also the fans, but now they can follow also. They have an idea, what's the 3-5-2, what do you expect from a wing back. Yeah, it's evolution. It's Darwin, I think, start with these things. So, yeah.
I think this book called Inverting the Pyramid. So that book has the history of football tactics, how football started. So I have it, one of my collections, I think I have it in my home.
Yeah.
So turns out first, now we play like 4-3 defenders, and it's like a more of an upward pyramid. But when football started, it was reverted pyramid. So it's like inverting the pyramid. So it has everything. I think that book is updated to 2024. So the writer comes up with updates every time. So I think I haven't been able to read the whole book. It's completed 20-25%. That gives an idea of how football was, right? So I want to know more from you, because since you're from Europe and Nepal is a country, like you said, because of social media, because of technologies, even I in the 90s grew up watching European football. I fell in love with Arsenal in the 90s.
The time of
Bergkamp, Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira. Those were my days.
That was amazing.
Right?
Amazing time. Yeah.
So, coming from there now, when you were a kid, how did football come into your life?
How football comes? That's a good question. I never think about this before.
It only happens in colors of the game.
Yeah, I grew up also in a big city in Brussels, so the capital of Belgium. And as every young kid, when you're a little bit sportive, you play football in school directly, on the place and in the street a little bit. And yeah, my father was a fan of Anderlecht. Maybe you know the name Anderlecht. It was one of the biggest clubs. Now it's a little bit like Manchester United. They struggle, but they will come back. And so I went to my father to watch the games every time, and then it started, and you start to play by yourself a little bit. And then we moved from the capital to a smaller city where there was more open, like a little bit like Pokhara. So I had more fields to play, more things to play. And yeah, I started to play football, and from one thing to another, I keep going on playing football. I loved it. And I'm also, then later I studied for a teacher of sport and education and also biology. So yeah, and I was always involved in sport. So, but number one sport was football. But if I can really choose a sport, I love skiing. Okay. Skiing. This is, wow, the freedom you have when you are on the mountain, on the top of the mountain, and you can glide. And you decide by yourself the tempo and the speed, and this is you and the nature. Yeah, wow. It's a little bit like comparing with the motorbike when you can drive and there is nobody before you. You decide. Okay. The wind is coming, the nature is there, the view is. I don't have to tell you the view. You have the highest mountains in the world here in the Himalaya. Huh? Sure. So this inspired me and. But then, okay, I'm not living in this kind of countries. I was there for holidays. Then I decided to go really 100% in football. Yeah, voilà. Yeah, so I make my career then in football.
I want to ask you, you said skiing, right? So I think they started a few years back. One of my good friend brother, he's a big YouTuber of Nepal. He does vlogging. So he once went to some place in Nepal where they organized the annual skiing, right? So a few months back, our former sports minister was here for a podcast. So he told me an idea of organizing an annual international skiing fest in Nepal, up in the mountains. Imagine that, coach. Wouldn't you come?
I will come direct if you will invite me, but if you don't invite, I will come, because also you must know that I worked 2 years in Redbull. So yes. You know, Redbull became famous or started his career also as merchandising product and with extreme sports.
Yes.
Yeah, not with football team, not with volleyball, not with Formula One, but with extreme. And all these extreme sports were like skiing, or jumping with skis from the mountains, or flying with all these things.
Even there was this guy who jumped from out of the atmosphere. It was sponsored by Redbull.
Yeah, there was. Son of the owner, Baumgartner, and but this was later. They really started as unknown, how to say, drink,
energy drink,
and they started. So the idea of their merchandising is fantastic. And then they started to sponsor extreme sports, even this diving, what you can think. So if you organize now this ski annual organization there in Himalaya, imagine only the atmosphere in Himalaya will be fantastic. These movies they will make, these photos they will make, It will be great. And Redbull, yeah. So you need always also sponsors to organize things. So,
Also, see, you have this ultra running trials, right? So there are a lot of routes in Nepal, and there are a lot of international competition being held for international ultra runners. Because of our topography, the mountains, the ups and downs, we have a lot of natural routes, coach. So the former sports minister, he was even exploring that aspect. That will be fun to have some sports, maybe the biggest ultra running trail here in Nepal, because we have the Himalayas that nobody has.
This is really the best joker you have in your country. Yeah? So even when I was young, one of the first things you learn in school was who is the Himalaya, how high is the Himalaya, who was the first climber to the top, and so on. So Nepal inspires people. You know that they are coming for meditation, they are coming for this kind of things. It's not that, because here it's sometimes a little bit calmer, and where can you find the rest? That's in the mountains. You're alone. We were to Pokhara, and the second night we also went to another hotel alone in the mountains, because
Tampus.
Yeah, Tampus. Yeah, and because we wanted to see in the morning the sunrise, and also behind the first mountains, the really white mountains with the snow. But we were a little bit unlucky. There was only a small place that we can see the white mountains, because the smoke was but the sunrise we have seen. So, but being there is bring you back to the basic, and the basic that it's life yourself, self-motivation, talking a bit, meditation. And I think football sometimes is too active, and that we forget these things. And you can ask the players from my team and even my staff. I start really with this mental part always. Physical you can train, tactical you can train, technical you have or you don't have. You will not in short time make it a lot of better. But mental, how is your self motivation? Yeah, why you are here? Like for these foreigners, what do you want to mean for the Nepal footing? We ask all these questions in the first two meetings. It was not directly about this is the system we will play and this. I wanted to know really how everybody feel themselves here in Nepal, and what was the task for him, and what we want to bring to the group. Yeah. So mental ways is I love Nepal. I will 100% come back.
Wonderful. So you started your coaching career in your late 20s, if I'm not wrong.
No, I was my first because I was, like I say, my fate was becoming teacher, sport teachers. I was like this, and I was already 60 years old, and I started to train already little boys, grassroots, from 7, 8 years old.
Okay.
And then I didn't stop. There was 16 or 17. I was, my 18, I was coach from a team from 20 years old, boys, and I played champion. That was my first title already.
Wow.
And they were 2 years older than me. And then I keep going like this. And then I had one dream to become a professional football coach. And in life, you have to follow sometimes your dreams. Don't give up your dreams, even it's not easy. And I succeed. And I travel a lot because my aim was also seeing the world and working with other religions, other cultures. It's so fantastic. Cannot explain because it's too fantastic to explain. Motivate people from other countries.
Your education is also very interesting.
My education?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Apart from the UFA Pro license, the academics you've done, that's relates to football itself, right?
Yeah, but in my time, don't forget I'm already 60 years old now. No, today I'm 61.
Today birthday. Is coach's birthday, so special day for us.
I didn't want to say it. Okay.
I was going to say. In a point.
Okay. Then we cannot hide it anymore.
Happy birthday, coach. First of all, happy birthday.
Thank you so much. And I can celebrate this in Nepal. So special. I will never forget.
Wonderful.
In my time, it was not so that these academies in Europe were also developed. 60 years ago, 50 years ago. 40 years ago. It became later when the football became more professional. And then they started to play, everybody from 5, 6, now in Belgium, they all started 4, I think maybe 5 years old for sure already. And each city have its academy. It's not one club, but first of all, it was also related to school, because it's very important. There's also a message I want to give for everybody. You cannot only dream to become professional footballer, you must also go to school, and you must have a certification of school. Players also needed to be developed in another way. And if there is an injury, that for sure that your pathway will go on another way, another direction, but at least that you're not falling down in a trough. Very difficult then.
So this is a problem with Nepali football, that the main problem that can be highlighted everywhere is everyone says we need to develop our grassroots, right? So we have a sense of grassroots, which means we start playing from 14, 15. But I think in Europe, a child is already playing by he is 4, 5, 6 years old, right? What difference does it make to a player's ability, coach, starting from, let's say, 8 years old maybe, and 15, 16?
A huge difference, a huge difference. This makes the difference between the Nepal players now and European players also. But it's not only in Europe, there are other continents also. And you don't have to, you can forget that the brain decides everything. So your motoric, everything is by your brain. So the best time to learn some things by brain training is is the golden age, a little bit 8 till 12. But it can be 6, 7 till 13, 14. It depends on each people. So when you start from there, then the brain will take all these actions also. And if you start after 14, it's already too late, a little bit. Then these players, they can still develop, but not in the same way that the technical ways. Imagine now you went also to school when you was young. You have to write your name. You started to write your name with the right hand or the left hand, one of the hands, with the dominant, and then you must try this once with the other hand. You will see there's a big gap in your coordination. You will be slower and you will start to think. So that's the same in football. If you can start earlier as a young kid and you play with your left and right foot and you touch the ball and pop and you play the pass. But imagine if you became older and you're 40 years old and you have to use the other foot. Oh, you shit, I cannot do this very well. And okay. So everything what you do when you are younger is also more spontaneous. I don't know the English word, spontaneous. By yourself.
Spontaneously.
Yeah, spontaneously, exactly. So this is automatically better. So everything what you do in life should start early.
That's wonderful. Life is unpredictable, but it's fun.
Life is the most beautiful thing there is in life, in the world. Fun again. How can you have fun? The same in football. In Europe, we always say when you make a development process in academy, fun and formation. Are 2 words: formation and fun. Fun of it. Never only formation. Never only fun. If you're not relaxed, if you don't enjoy what you are doing, you cannot progress. It will be a stress moment. It will be something. So that's also why some players never arrive on the level that you expect from them, because they have no fun for what they're doing. They are too stressed to become there. Handle the stress before a stadium, for example, that is full, and you cannot handle this stress because you have no fun anymore. But because the fun is you will play football. There is a moment when I stopped playing football, it never come back. This fun, playing football for a huge crowd, never come back. It was fun. So I tell these players, try to enjoy every game. It is fun. You can still play. I cannot play anymore. I can only shout a little bit from the side and looking. But fun. You must make fun, but we must fun you can do in different ways. Sometimes it's very serious. Sometimes it's another way. Sometimes very relaxed with friends. Drinking one beer, going to a bar or something can also be fun. Sure. But that's in the moment for a football player, maybe only in holiday, maybe on other moments. Yeah.
Who do you find interesting to work with? Young players or young, I mean 15, 18 or above 18? Well, before moving forward, let me tell you something about the iconic brand UMBRO. आफ्नो 100 वर्ष कम्प्लिट गरिसकेको स्पोर्ट्स ब्रान्ड उम्रोको यदि यहाँहरूलाई जेन्युइन प्रोडक्ट किन्नु छ भने स्क्रिनमा दिइएको भाटभटेनीको डिफ्रेन्ट लोकेसन्समा यहाँहरूले उम्रोको जेन्युइन प्रोडक्ट्स किन्न सक्नुहुन्छ.
I did really average. So I started with the littles. 6 years was for me the lowest age, and then but like I told you, I was 18 years old. So I did now 40 years in football. I did every age. Only the under 16 I never had. Someday I don't know why. And every age group has its own fun, its own specific aspects. But when you are younger, I think the coaches must pass all this. Not every age group, but at least you must start. And you see also like in Ajax and in other big teams, these professional players and with big names, even Bergkamp and all the rest, they started to give training on younger boys because they go back to the roots. And this is very important. Don't forget. And then how to motivate these players, how to motivate young players, how to decide you can play, you cannot play. Because I tell you, if you have a group of 20 young players from 60 or 20 years old, of 12 years old before you, and you must say, you can start and you can start and you will start. You will sit on the bank today. You will see it in the eyes. You will see the disappointment. How you motivate again, how you motivate the group. And that's a game you learn by doing this in lower levels. And then you go to the first team. So, yeah. And some people are not made to work with young players, and some trainers are not made to perform with the adults because they react also different. When you make a substitution and the adult is very, is not happy, and he came from the field. You see even with the big coaches from Real Madrid, Ancelotti, sometimes they pass him. Sometimes, that's different. With youth, you will learn them to shake the hands and so on and so on. You learn the manners. But every age group has its specific aspects, and it's nice to pass by a lot of age groups.
One of your experiences with the youth was under 18 Redbull Salzburg. So they're from Austria, and when it comes to any team of Redbull, it's not just about a team; it's more about the youth and what Redbull has brought into the game itself. So how was the experience there, coach?
Yeah, one day they asked me to train under 18, and then I came from first team in China. I just made the promotion there. We played promotion, but it inspired me. I visit first that team, but we talked a lot. We were sitting together 2 days, but this vision of Redbull was amazing. They really wanted to invest in young players. Even now, they are always take the best young players. They have a scouting system around the world already now. Now they are a big club. They play Champions League every year. But that was really a vision I've never met in other teams. We only want to invest in young players. And I say, okay, I have to be here as a teacher of sport and a football fan and passionate. I say, I have to be here. And I start to train there. And I cannot mention all the names, but I give you a few names like Lehner, who played in Borussia Dortmund, and you have Lehner who play another Lehner who played in Bayern München. You have Schäfer, the goalkeeper. You have Benzebani, and so on. I trained so many good play in Dortmund. Then later I had Benacer, also under 23 in Algeria. Training talent players is so fantastic because they have already talent, and then you can give your experience in the best circumstances, because this is one of the things that should change very quickly in Nepal is the infrastructure. You can always talk, I want to develop players, I want to start academy, but if you have no nice fields where you can play in 1 touch, 2 touches, and so on. And this was, I could work in that moment in the best circumstances, and this was amazing. Yeah, amazing.
You also had your time at Metallurg Donetsk. Ukraine is a country that loves football. So, how was the atmosphere there? How was your experience there? How are the fans there?
Yeah, it was my first experience as coaching abroad, Belgium, and I was in a good team. We played at the end of the season fifth in the ranking, but you had also Shakhtar Donetsk in that same time. You remember Shakhtar Donetsk?
I know. Yeah? One of Arsenal's player, Eduardo, went to play there. And they played the Champions League many times.
Yeah, they played Champions. You had Fernandinho who played in Manchester City then as captain. So these were the kind of players who were at that moment in Ukraine in Shakhtar. So we had Mendoza from Peru. We had the son of Johan Cruyff, Jordi Cruyff. We had Mitu from Romania. We had so many good players. Arveladze from Georgia. I cannot give all the names again because otherwise I'm sitting here 2 hours, but it was amazing. And this football country later, they became under 20 or 21 world champion also. This was a fantastic country. Now, unfortunately, they are in crisis. But the fans, full stadiums. But biggest experience with fans was in Iran, where we played for 100,000 people. This was like I never seen. Each attack we did, each goal we made was like goosebumps around over all the body. 100,000 people. Imagine, you can see all these pictures and videos even on YouTube. It was fantastic, and the football was also good in Iran because Iran was in that moment also the highest rated rank country in Asia. Yeah, even before Korea and Japan. Now I have to check, but they were the highest. So fantastic experience also.
You've one more experience in 2021. You were coaching Raza Casablanca from Morocco. So Morocco are a team country. They made a big impact in the World Cup recently. So now I can ask you, because you have known that culture, their football. How did they get so good in football that they were reaching heights? They were beating teams like Portugal in the World Cup. What was the story behind it?
The story behind is that you have still street football there. Yeah. So and when you pass there with your car or by bike or by walk, every place that you can find on the street, they are playing. So from nature, they really are developed as technical players. All the Moroccan players can really play good football. And then the World Cup, the last World Cup came, and like you said, they beat. I will tell you, they beat also Belgium.
Yes. How can I forget?
I was in that moment not in the podcast, but I was in the television studio, and so it was live on television, and I had 3 interviewers, and I was from Belgium against 3 Moroccan, but I was hoping Belgium will win.
Okay.
And we lost that game, so they were laughing at me. But I was in that country on that moment, and then I had to drive back home. The streets were full of cars. It was not only a club who played champion, it was the country who played champion.
True.
And this country is such an amazing country. They have still a king also, and they are like one team, Morocco. And then later from when you have success, you can build on the success. And then they took now a Belgian also technical director, and he changed a lot in regional regions, the football and so on. They build up because now they win last week, I think, the under-17 Asian Cup. Morocco won from, I have to watch, maybe Saudi Arabia or something. No. But Morocco won under 17 Asian.
Not Asian, I think.
Africa Cup, sorry.
Africa yes,
Cup,
African Cup,
because I'm now in Asia. The Africa Cup. So, and they really, really develop and they invest a lot in coach education, and the good coaches are coming. They support all the teams now in first and second league, the federation. They give them academies, they give them fields. And now you will see Morocco will stay on the highest ranking. Huh?
I'm just finding a line from this commentator Peter Drury, the best commentator in the world, the one who talked about Ronaldo, the famous line, "Reeved in red, brought to this beautiful gallery of the game. So Ronaldo, okay, wait, Peter Dury is that commentator who was the one behind Messi has reached the paradise, the monologue and everything. So I'll just give you a line of Morroco. Wait, Dury on. He said something like, "Drink it in Casablanca." I'll just.
Casablanca is a fantastic city. It's near the sea. The people are so positive. In general, the Moroccan people are very positive, very open-minded. And you know, we have we as Belgium, we have a lot of a big connection with Morocco, because in Belgium, in Brussels, for example, there live a lot of Moroccan people also.
Just give me a second.
So daily you can fly 3 times, I think, from Brussels to Morocco, and Morocco Brussels. Very easy.
Okay. Drink it in Casablanca, relish it Rabat. This is your night. See it from atop the Atlas Mountains, all above the Maraja Express. A night Morocco will never forget. So that was the line in commentary after they scored the goal. Because I really idolize Peter Dury. I know a lot of his lines. So I remember there was this time, maybe the early 2000s, when there were cricket also being played in Morocco, because there was some kind of cricket series going on. So I think Morocco's geography is interesting. They look like they're a European country, or maybe an Asian country, but they're an African country.
Yeah, it's still an Africa country, but it's a well-developed Africa country, and they are near the sea. So you know, when you are near the sea, you have also a lot of harbors, so industry can come.
Sure.
And that's one of the things that the country is in good, I'd say, there's economic good situation. They have a king, so there is united like. You have here also protests now for king. So king is really the key player for all the country to unite the people. And then you know, they had also big players now, big star players, and all these players play in Europe, you know, in big clubs now. And you know, young players also from Nepal. You need always an idol, or you're Ronaldo or Messi or this. But if you have players from your country, Nepal players who play in Europe, it's your idol, and they will have photos from them in the rooms and so on. And so that's why we need to invest in football from grassroots, that you can create also new stars. Yeah. And so Morocco did it, and they will still do it for a lot of years. And now, because now they will organize the World Cup together with Spain and Portugal. So they will organize the African Cup for 8 teams also. They are building now in Casablanca the biggest stadium in the world. More than 100,000 people will enter. All these African Champions League games also from a lot of they will play there. So it's development, and this is what we if you come back to Nepal, you must invest in infrastructure. So I hope that all the people here who have really a big heart for the football, they bring all the power together and the knowledge and try to make really a vision for the Nepal football. Yeah. Now, like you say, it's a little bit competition now. The NLS is finished, but there is another competition for our players. So where they will play. In 3 weeks, you will play. No, at the beginning of June, you will play international games with the national team. So where the players will play now, local tournaments. So the level in local tournaments, with all respect, is not the level they will play in 3 weeks in international games. So there's a lot of things to do here in structure. You need a competition. You need a competition. You need, even if it's from 6 teams or 8 teams or 10 teams, away games, home games, that fans can recognize themselves in their team, that you create something. Yeah. Now this tournament was fantastic, but it's all in the capital. So fans will not come from Pokhara to watch every game. Fans will not, because they need to take holiday, they need to spend money, they need to travel. So it's difficult to have a full crowd every time. So, but if you can play competition away, and we go to Pokhara or Zappa or all the other teams there, you will meet the home fans.
True.
Yeah. And they will create also with families, because kids, and they come to the stadium. This is what you need to create now. This kind of tournaments is nice, but they don't create something with value after the tournament. Yeah.
And I feel Kathmandu is a busy city. Yeah. People don't have time much to enjoy football every day. And if you take, just like you said, let's take for example Jhapa. So Jhapa is the eastern side of Nepal, and the East Nepal has produced so many great players for Nepal. So in East, it's more about football. The West is cricket, but we do get players from the West as well. But East is all about football. So, like you said, when Jhapa plays its 6 games in Jhapa itself, for every local game, apart from Kathmandu, every city you take, we have a lot of Gold Cups, right? The knockout tournaments. So, stadiums are packed because they want to see those players. They want to see their idols. Actually, the crowd is out there. In Nepal Super League, they tried to do Kathmandu Pokhara, but I think there was some kind of disagreement with teams or something. So next year, it's been 2 years they've been planning to move it out of Kathmandu, maybe one phase in Kathmandu and one in Pokhara. We have a lot of stadiums.
Or you bring the final here, or the final, the semi-final and the finals you can play in the capital. That's something else. But at least you must make connection in the region. Imagine if you live there and your kids want to see the games. They will ask you, can we go to Kathmandu to see the game? Oh, it's too much money. You have to spend travel, costs, hotel, all that to watch a game. If they can play in the region, then you take your son, your kids, and you go to football. He will be inspired. He will say, okay, you start. This you have to create now. This really football academy atmosphere. Yeah. And then you can start with academies in local things also. Yeah, there's a lot of work to do here. I hope really because you have the ideas, everybody have the ideas. Football is the same around the world. It's not different in other countries. It was not different in Morocco, but in Morocco, really, they go with the kids to the stadium. And there are 70,000 people in Raja Casablanca. They are in the academy. We did a test day. Yeah, I tell you, there were 300-400 kids before the gate. They want to do the test in Rajak because they wanted to be there. And then maybe 50% was already happy that they once entered in the stadium, in the academy to be there. And they come back home, they say, I did the test in Rajak. Yeah. So this connection with clubs and things, it was like a religion also. Yeah. So create this, but only by making a tournament in one place, it's difficult. It's difficult. Yeah. You can do this like now, how to say, Saudi Arabia invite always the big teams now to play the final of the cup final, or the 8 Spanish teams play in Saudi, and then there you can for one game. True. But imagine that Barcelona every time must go playing Madrid. You will not create a Barcelona group. You will not, even in London with Arsenal, they have the same. True. Imagine they have to play in Man United. It's the other side of England. True. Yeah, so you must create in regions, and that must be supported by the federation, by the government. Because don't forget, you work with kids, the grassroots, state that, the world. You ask me, life is nice. Yeah, life is nice because they are kids. Imagine there are no kids in the world. You always see the adults. True. They're always negative. Kids, they are never negative. They always want to. They are tired. They want to play. Even it's football, even it's cricket. Here also, every time when we went to the training ground, we passed so many places where they play cricket. And even in small places, they were busy. Create things, support these things. Because I heard also Les Dangali, they have a lot of fans.
Yes.
But during the games, because they are not here. So that's
Far West.
So
let's take football there.
Voilà. So, or one time maybe you make the tournament there, and another year maybe the tournament there, or the final there in capital. Okay, capital, stay always capital. Yeah. True. I hope they will listen now.
Yes, this is something everybody should listen, especially the management. For me, it's been my 3rd year with NSL, and the best part about this management team is they're always ears. They listen to everyone. They try to implement new things, and they're open to everything. So one of the best organizers so far, yeah, they're learning. I would say that because I've worked 3 years with them. So yes, this has the future. At least Nepal Super League is holding on to the Nepali football hopes, right? If there was no Nepal Super League, there would be no top tier competition, right? Sure. At least one of our local players, they got to train under you. That's a big privilege for them. For me as a commentator, for me every time doing your pre-match interviews, I got to do someone from Europe, generally talking, right? From Europe, and getting to share his ideas. There was a reason I wanted to call you to my podcast, that I want the Nepalese crowd, the football lovers, the stakeholders of the game to know the idea of someone understanding Nepal for the whole last month, and expressing it right here. So I think everybody should listen to this, at least not for me, but for the well-being of Nepali football. Now, I want to join. We talked about grassroots in Nepal, right? So we know La Masia project in Barcelona. So they had this project, Messi, Puyol, and a lot of players came in. And they also had this Aspire Academy, right? So what difference? You worked in Aspire Academy, right? So what was the foundation? What was the sole purpose of Aspire Academy?
Yeah, it's everywhere the same. You want to bring the best players together in the best environment. Yeah, and best talent can develop in better circumstances. So you must create again accommodations, infrastructure for playing nice football. We can scout now the best players, and then we bring them to some training ground or an academy who is not well developed, because you must develop also an academy with school, hotel. Hey, they can stay and sleep a little bit with teachers, with mental coaches, because you leave your parents. So it's not only create an academy, it's given an environment for young players to develop as a human being. This is what you have to create. And if it's now in Qatar, if it's now in Spain, if it's now in Anderlecht, because they have also one of the Ajax, Benfica, they have all fantastic academies. Sure. But you must create something where, okay, if you imagine, as always, if you have kids, I give my kid to a club, but you want that my kid is in the best circumstances to raise up.
True.
Yeah, I had the same. I had a daughter who played international tennis. She was in the best academy in Barcelona.
Your daughter?
Also there, yeah.
Okay.
And so also there, before I let my daughter there, because she had to stay there without Papa and Mama, I had to know what you will do with my daughter, what you will do with my kid, how you will treat it. Not only football, you must treat them, and then the rest will come also. If you're happy in your life, you always say the fun there, the things you do will develop much easier. And don't forget, if you create academies like this, you also create a lot of stress for young people, because they know, if I'm not succeed, my parents will be maybe angry against me. So create something where they don't feel this stress, but they can develop.
True.
And there is no difference. The only difference, what you say in Barcelona, is the accommodation, Aspire, Qatar and Dubai. It's all beauty, but even Redbull Academy is beauty. Even now in France, all the academies, they are very beautiful. Even maybe in smaller, even in Belgium, you have Anderlecht, you have Genk, you have Bruges. You have to watch them. It's fantastic. They invest really in create a pathway for young players from youth, very young, to adult. And so there is still a lot of work here to do.
Coach, I have this analogy that in a country like Nepal, we're a developing country, right? So everybody says the government isn't investing in sports, the government isn't doing enough, right? But me as a business student and now a teacher, right? I teach management. So what I feel, what my analysis has told me, what my knowledge has told me is to bring more private investments in sports. Let's say football, right? If we look at Nepal Super League, there are 7 teams spending 3 to 4 crores in just 2-3 months. Every hotel getting bookings, every manager is getting a job, coach is getting a job, and our players are getting to see international coaches coming in, right? So I always cherish the moments for the players, especially the young players of Nepal. They're getting to work with coaches that come from Europe, right? There's so many coaches in NSL as well, right? So where can we, will I be wrong to say that we should not wait for the government to make the investment in sport, but the government should let the doors open for private sector to come into football, they invest in football?
Yeah, I will not involve myself in this political
in general, but like in any country.
If there is not directly money for this or this, you should, like you say, even Redbull and all this kind of thing, also from private sector, and they are coming in to help and to help. You need sponsors, you need. So all these initiatives you should do, but bring them together, like you say. Yeah? And there are a lot of foreigner coaches here now, but it's a little bit pity that we didn't share this with young players. So maybe one of the ideas is also when next time there is an NSL, that we also create 1 or 2 day symposiums. That we also create, okay, now this the coach from Lilliput came from England. Okay, give the vision from him, how you play now, how you develop in England. He can speak 1 hour.
True.
My assistant, Nicky Lelièvre also, he came from Belgium. True. And he live in England. So bring these ideas, give a symposium for all the coaches, youth coaches. Maybe you also, you organize on the same time demonstration trainings, grassroots demonstration, bring some schools, bring some clubs, or we can also go by ourselves. Maybe we should go 1 day to Pokhara and the other coach go 1 day to another region. So that's a little bit what I missed. We came here and we played games, but we didn't share really our experience and our visions, how we work in Europe. So this is also an idea I want to give you for next time. Organize some symposiums, big meetings in big hall. We explain how everything works, and and go to clubs, go visit academies in the stadium during the games. I didn't see kids. Why we didn't invite school kids? Why to come to see the games? Yeah, because you say, and what I detected also now, and my experience, and it was for sure 100% in Kathmandu Rayzrs, is that. And I told it once after a game in the press conference, is that you see that the level from the local players really go up really fast during this tournament.
True.
They play with better players. They have, sometimes a foreign coach. Even the local coaches are doing a good job, and also the games are on a high level, and they really took this standard. But now after this competition, you have to go back to the local tournaments. So the standard you had, the rhythm is like you drive Formula 1, and after the first tour, you have to go back to Formula 3. So you must stay on that level.
True.
And so helping is not only coming just coaching here in one tournament, a big tournament, a nice tournament, like you say, with a lot of sponsors, but we didn't use all the experience.
Okay. That's a wonderful way of seeing it, because the point you said, we always talk about Nepali players getting exposure, but what about the country as a whole, right? So there can be a fun part that since you guys are here, 3-4 coaches, you take them to different places of Nepal, and even they're going to see the whole country. They're going to talk about it to their friends. Sports is also related to tourism, coach. So that's a good factor.
That's what we have to do. We have to share, not only coming for playing this tournament, then, okay, you win and you lose. Because you start with 7 teams. There's only 1 team who can win.
True.
That's every time in sport, even the start tennis tournament, there's 1 player who will win. Yeah. That doesn't mean that you don't have to bring also or give attention to a lot of other projects. Yeah. And I was ready to do this. Because like I told you, I visit now the country, but I'm also this kind of trainer also. I did it all my life, going around, and let's also go to treaties to Zappa, let's go to this to there, and give some, again, symposiums, some meetings, and demonstration trainings and with local coaches.
True.
You must. Football is communication. Football is everywhere in the world. Football is the same. It's 11-11. Yeah, with 2 goals, offside, and the ball.
True.
Yeah, so it's another route, but share this experience, because the level is not everywhere the same. Yeah, and there's we missed. So I thought we Nepal missed now for me an opportunity to take advantage from all this experience of foreign coaches.
True.
Yeah.
They had to exploit you guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So before moving on to NSL and particularly Kathmandu Rayzrs, I just have two topics to talk about. So first is, since you're from Belgium, and as I grew up, Belgium was not that big of a team, but slowly they started becoming a good team and a great team. But even in their golden generation, currently they're not being able to win major tournaments.
No, okay, yeah, but
what do you think is lacking there?
No, it's not on if you have how to say 10 good teams, you have Brazil, you have Argentina, you have France, you have the Belgium had a good team.
They are great team.
Semi-final.
Yeah,
we were semi-final in the Europa Cup and in the World Cup. We did our best and we played good. But it can only win one team, huh?
True.
Yeah, and it's not that you play against it was not Belgium, with all respect, against Nepal who played the semi-final and to win. True. You play against another good team with another top players. There, okay, the difference was that we lost against the French then in the semi-final. But at least don't forget that Belgium was, I have to watch exactly 3-4 years #1 in the world. Eh?
True.
For a small country, yeah.
True.
For a small country, if you compare with France, with Germany, with Netherlands, with England, and so on, it's small country, and we did it. And my assistant often is talking about the idea, the example of Iceland. Also, Iceland.
True.
Before, you know exactly the numbers of people who live in Iceland, but they also reach this kind of semi-finals, Europa Cup, and so on. So if you have a really good project, you must follow this project and vision, and then you can reach a lot. Yeah. And in Belgium, we changed this now. It's maybe already 20 years ago or 50 years ago. We worked on reality-based learning. This is reality is the game form. So we didn't train not only exercise and another exercise and another exercise. No, we really, what is the reality is the game form, and from there we started, because players have to read the game. What do I have to do in this situation, tactical this situation, and not only making separate exercise and then playing 11-11. If you don't play 11-11 on training, and how is making formation, or what is playing with 3 back, 4 back, how you do this on training. So was reality-based learning, and from that moment we really changed everything. I was also in the federation that moment as a teacher UEFA courses, and it worked. Even though we're women football, we did the project of 10 years, and we were then in the best 10 of the world.
Now I want to talk about the country Brazil, because I remember watching the movie Pele. So before Pele came into professional football, the Brazilian football was said to be lacking of the samba football, right? And now I think it's the same. They lack that Brazilian flavor, but at the same time, what football has become is it has become more mechanical. They say that kids are taught to pass the ball and move the same mechanical technique of playing football. The fun is maybe fading away. That's a debate in itself. And how does that affect the Brazilian football, and has it affected Brazilian football?
Yeah, I never think about why the Brazilian football is not so top anymore, but what you say, it's more mechanic. The opponents, everybody, even there are no small countries, they don't exist anymore. Every player is an athlete. Like you watch on the internet, even you don't want to play football, you see them in Instagram. Everybody go to the fitness. Even you go to the fitness. You told me twice or three. So everybody become more an athlete, and in football also. So the creativity is also by coaches sometimes not allowed anymore. They want machines a little bit more running deep, faster transition, and then you see. But still, we need them. You see Salah. I know you're from Arsenal fan now, but I know I have to give examples from Arsenal. Yeah. But you see, this creative play makes still the difference. Yeah, you need creativity. You need creativity in your team. And Brazilian football will always exist. Don't forget. Maybe they have now also a generation with a little bit less. But okay, it will become back. It's a country of football. It's the world #1 football. If you think about football, you always say first Brazil and then maybe Argentina and all the rest. But Brazil is a Brazilian player. Huh?
They're like the synonym to football.
Yeah, like I said, Fernandinho, Shakhtar. You mentioned the player from Arsenal. This Brazilian players will
Martinelli.
Always, there's always exist. It's no problem. But the football became more analytics. Yeah, players that we have. Every country have now GPS. Every kind. So imagine also, I have to play against Brazil, but I have not the capacity as a Brazilian player. But I can be the best physical player against this Brazilian player. True. I can train my physique so good that this Brazilian player with this technique will not pass me. That's something in the mind that changed. And before the other countries were not developed like this, but now I think, it will be maybe difficult for them. I don't know, but I don't hope, because you love dribbles. We also, in our vision, was the last part, players can have creativity, can make the dribble, must make the dribble. And you see also we had, now if I talk about Kathmandu Rayzrs, we had Amadou, a young guy, 18 years old. We helped him a lot and say, the last part, my friend, there, it's you. I will not shout when you have not there. If you see the dribble, you make the dribble. Even you will lose the ball. We don't care. We make the dribble, go to the goal, because in the last part, your vision must be to the goal. And he did it very well. And then you see also, he never played he came also from an academy. But if you see how quick in a short time, don't forget the games were also very short after each other. So rest was also a little bit difficult for him in the beginning. But then he became so much better. And this is for a coach also a pleasure factor that you see that players develop.
True. Now let's talk about Kathmandu Rayzrs. Where did the story start? It was Piyush who came into contact?
So I was at that moment sports director of Raja Casablanca 2 years ago. And I got a call from another guy from FIFA. There is a group of managers, people who follow the course of management given by FIFA. And I wanted to visit a lot of countries, and I wanted to visit big clubs to see how they were. And so they asked me, can they come with you? Can you give a symposium? Can you explain how you work in Morocco and how these clubs? And I say, yes, for sure I can. And so that's why he contacted me and invited. And at that moment, Pius was one of the members who followed this course. I didn't know Pius before, but from that moment, I learned also people from Singapore, people from Nepal, people from, there was one guy from South America, from Chile. There were 25 men and also women. And so it was very nice. And from that moment, I still had contact with Pius, and already last year he asked me to come, but I was in that moment still busy with national team of China. And now I was free. I was just a little bit free. So I say, come, because I decided very late before competition. And so, okay. So I say, I will come.
So what was the first impression when you landed in Nepal?
A lot of crowd. And I have to stay in the queue a long time. And I say, whoa, it starts like everywhere in the world. And then I have to pass the visa. And, so it was the first impression. When you sit in taxi, then the hotel, really the impression about Nepal came with me when I had my group of players before me, when we had the first training, when we had the first meeting, when we started to talk, because we started really quickly to have a lot of meetings to know each other peer to peer. That means with conversations, not only me who will say what to do, but tell me who you are. We did a good job at that moment. And so the impression, and again, listen, around the world, people are the same, Yeah, you're passionate. Tonight you invite me for the game.
Arsenal PSG.
I don't know. Arsenal PSG. So there will be fans there. There will be huge fans. There was 2 days before it was Liverpool against Tottenham. So everywhere in the world, you have the same passion for football. Don't forget this. People are the same.
True.
Only they have a little bit another face or another color or a little bit this, but that's the same. Kids, the same. They look up to all these idols and it's now for cricket. But some sports are more popular, even in America. American football is more popular than soccer. Huh? So here is baseball now. If I open my television, every day it's baseball. And the people are really watching, and I'm also watching, and I say, ooh, the roots. Huh? And then sometimes there is so less action, but still the crowd is crying, wow, you make a point. They only touch the ball a little bit. Okay, yeah. So passion will always be between man and woman. What is then the most important factor is passion between why you're in love with your wife, why you're in love. Passion is everything in life. Yeah.
True.
And so, yeah, for me, the impression of Nepal, it was the country before I came, the country of meditation. And you go to the mountains, you go to the monks, and you stay. And I see a lot of hippies also. People dress like this. The shops are a little bit like this in the capital. And then after discovering Pokhara and all this, I can only have be positive about the country, about the football infrastructure, and all the there. Sometimes we have to say, guys, wake up! It's time to invest. Not do it not for me, but do it for your little boys. Do it for the future of your life. The future is always kids. I have now also a grandson, 1 year old, and that's the future. I'm not the future. I'm the past who lives now in the future. Yeah, and I will give my experience, but the future are little. So in which world he will grow up is also. So your kids, in which world they will grow up. So there we must, as an adult, invest a lot. So please invest a little bit in football.
Nepali football, yes.
Yeah.
So, were you the part of the foreign recruitments? Did you take care of the players coming in from abroad?
I only had to, because I decided on the last moment, 10 days before start of the competition. No, I was involved with the 2 players, and the rest was already done by the auction, the local players and all the things, and by the management. So like Vincent, I took from France. It was yellow, so it's because I contacted him, but he was injured before. He didn't play a long time, and I know this competition can maybe a start for him to restart himself a little bit, because we are now in 2 days, 1st of May. Then the transfer period also starts in Europe again. So I convinced him to come, and but in normal circumstances, players like Vincent will never come. Players as Mane, he was already here. But I know him because when I was sports director in Raja Casablanca, he was playing in FAR Rabat. And I know him from that year. He played very well. Played also Champions League games there. And he played for me as one of the best players of the tournament also. It's fantastic.
I was telling our assistant coach that Koziello reminds me of Jack Wilshere of England. The height and the physicality, and even his playing style, the ability to find players and pass the ball in gaps. He was the heart of the midfield, Koziello.
Yeah, that's always how our fans or journalists look to football. Imagine that you say now, Vincent, but imagine there is no money behind him to make the recuperation, to cover him all the time. You will tell me the same about Vincent if you have to run 20 meters back every time, with 30 meters back to recover the ball and then go up. No. So that's always how higher you play in the system, how in the team, you're more the people are looking more to he scored a goal, not the defender, not the guy who make the gaps, who close the gap. We had in the national team, for example, you know him also, Witsel. He played a long time in Witsel. It was not a top player, but he was so useful playing with Hazard. It was were like brothers together in that way. And this is Vincent for sure, but Vincent must thank Mane, and Mane must thank the guys behind him, and behind him is the keeper. So a team is always a team. I never look to one player exactly. Each player have his position, his task to do, and there he has to try to be the best in his position.
True.
Yeah.
For Mane, I can add to what you just said. So I have this theory, not my theory, but every time in English Premier League, a team wins the Premier League, most of the time, it's always the defensive midfielder who has done his job. So now, as you say, I always explain to people that a defensive midfielder is such an interesting position. He doesn't go forward. He doesn't score goal. What he does is he stops the attack. He takes the ball and he distributes forward. And like you said, it was all about, for people to understand, it was Pogba and Mbappe previously. So Pogba and Mbappe, they were complementing each other so well, right? Mbappe would make his runs and Pogba would give him the balls. And Mbappe knew if he moved too much forward, it would be Pogba to fill his space. So with Mane, it was more like from the commentary box, we were definitely talking this. Thank you for reminding me. So I remember Amandai, one of our commentators, senior, he pointed out and showed me, now this guy, look at him, look at his position. I think it was the second, third game. And then I realized about Bakary Mane, the position he played. He has this intellectual game. His movement were good. His positioning especially was really good.
And also the headers, he won, I think, all headers against these big strikers who are even taller than him. He won. He's a fantastic player. And again, a team can only play good when everybody do his task. You know this also. Kane, for example, from Bayern Munich will not score when they are not defending well and when they give not the last good pass. So it's really the team who is important, not one player.
True.
So but everybody has always his opinion. The first question when Roberto Carlos came here was, what is the most best player? It was Messi or Ronaldo, you know? These are questions. There's always a feeling.
True.
Yeah. You're a fan of Brazil, you're a fan of Arsenal. Why you're a fan of Arsenal? There is a reason in your mind why you're a fan. I'm maybe more fan of Manchester United or another team or Liverpool. There's always a reason.
True.
Yeah? Because you love the style, you love one player, you love, or before there was a player who inspired you. Like you say, Bergkamp. I see also still the statue of Bergkamp here. He was so fantastic player. But at that time there were other fantastic players. But you always want to recognize yourself in a player, and this is why the love starts with you and the team.
True.
True.
Let's start with the Nepali players. Your goalkeeper Abhishek Baral, he did wonderfully well.
He's fantastic keeper. But you see also there is some gaps that he didn't and lacked in his development process. That if he had played in better competition or with another few coaches, because don't forget also what we do in Europe now and even from the youth of is analyzing goalkeepers also with camera directly every training, every game. Keepers will also be analyzed. The goalkeeper from Liverpool, I know very well the guy who is responsible. He worked in Redbull Salzburg. He analyzed this keeper, and Liverpool asked him to bring him the best keeper of the world. And that time he played in AS Roma. And he said in AS Roma, because of the statics, this is the keeper. And there were at that moment better keepers with name. But he said this keeper is the best keeper of the world. He do best reflex, that. So really making analysis.
It is not about the numbers.
Yeah. And then they followed this advice because he's well known, Hans, but the second name now I forgot. You must buy this keeper, and they did it Liverpool. And you see now, many years is fantastic keeper. Sure. Yeah. So also for Baral now, he's a good keeper. He's the number 3 or 4 in the national team. So then you are a good keeper. But when we worked a lot with analyzing team. That's why I have also an assistant coach with me. Videos, and we discussed with them individual, but the time to do this in 7 weeks is too short to to develop really the player. But they love it so much. You know, players love it so much if they can see themselves on television, analyzing with the coach. What can you do better? How you see here, your hands are not high enough. Your leg is not standing very well. You cannot reach that corner anymore, and so on. And this is the new world. This is the new football. So there also in Nepal, the coaches, they always say computer coaches sometimes in Europe, but you must use the computer. You must analyze. It's also in your job, you see, also here. You must analyze things. And that starts from the keeper. It's not only the team, it's the keeper.
True.
Where is his position? Where you must stay? Because, you know, keepers must be the number, your 11th player. He must start to play football, giving passes also. The build-up starts from him a lot of times. Yeah.
True. What about the captain, Kuldeep Karki?
Yeah, for me, fantastic. You see, he was selected now. He's selected for the national team.
I haven't checked.
You didn't check?
Yeah, I just watched it thoroughly, but I have to make sure.
Yeah, no, you check it.
Okay.
So, as a coach then, and as a technical staff, we are so happy that we bring one guy who was never in the national team now. So our task was well done. So I think if check.
I'm checking, coach.
And he deserved this selection because even he played maybe one game not so good or did and that, he deserved this. He's a really professional guy. He trained very hard.
Defenders, we have Bibek Limbu, Amrit Shrestha, Ananta Tama, and Kuldeep Karki. Yes.
So when you see this as a coach then,
True.
And you say, oh, well, it's fantastic. One of your players, we have still Gillespie and Rohan, but they were already selected.
True.
Yeah? But this is fantastic that you can bring a new guy to the national team.
True.
He already sent us messages to thank us. But he's a fantastic guy, fantastic captain.
So about Kuldeep, coach, since I've been commentating, he has been playing football. And I could see the discipline physically and game-wise, his approach to the game. And you always see a body language. As a commentator, I see the player's body language coming into a game and getting off from the bus from getting ready for the warm-ups. And Kuldeep has one of the most positive attitudes.
It's one of the most.
I was always surprised why a player of this caliber hasn't made it to the national team.
Yeah, that's just a question. I cannot give you the answer, but I'm happy he is now there. And I talk with my staff to him, and we really motivated him also. You have capacities, you have to do hard. And then finally, after 6 games here now, he's in the national team. It's like you say, he's one of the most professional, maybe the most professional Nepal player for my team. You have a few, but he was the captain. He do the exercises. In the morning, we always have the gym training. He was always one of the first to stay like you say, the warming up, everything what he's do. The only thing he should be a little bit more relaxed sometimes. Don't take it too serious because then you're also a little bit more crispy.
True.
In the training. But well done. Very happy for him. And I hope he will get the final selection and that he can start to play.
Let's talk about Alijanov. Ali.
Our Uzbekistan player.
Yes.
Yeah, I will not make the evaluation of everybody. I didn't take Ali. I know Uzbekistan players. They have fantastic development programs. Fantastic. There's Belgium technical director in Uzbekistan. That's why.
Okay.
No, they play always under the 7. They also win now the Asian Cup under 17. They were in the World Cup under 20. Under 23, they played the Asian Cup against us when I was in China. They played the final. Yeah. No, Uzbekistan players have a great discipline. Okay. And then is the choice which player you take. But he was already taken by the local management.
I want to talk about 2 players now, Nepali. Let's start with Rohan Karki.
Yeah.
How good is he? How big? Last year he was the most emerging player, right? And for a young guy to be named as a marquee player of a team, it's kind of builds a pressure on the player himself. So, how was Rohan?
You are a good commentator. You see the things like that. I see there was a lot of pressure on him.
Sure.
And you see this also. Maybe he was too young to be in this position, but he's a prospective player. He's 22 years old.
True.
He can run. He has a good physical condition, but it's a player who have to learn a lot, tactical way, how to play. His big problem is that he wants to be on the right side, on the left side, and so I want to be everywhere. And we discussed it a lot, and at the end it was better. He must start to play from his position. But like you say, the pressure was a little bit high on him. That's why he didn't score also one goal. He could have scored also 1 or 2 goals easy, but okay, that's the thing. But yeah, some young, what we discussed already 1 hour before, I think the pressure playing in a big stadium, this key player from the auction, he was key player, I think, or something. How you know him? Name you the auction. You have special players.
Marquee,
yeah. So I forgot the name. So he was the marquee player.
Yes.
So it's a lot of pressure. Huh? If you give them, like you say, Gillespie, there's something else. It's different in his mind and in his evolution. But maybe it was a little bit. But it's okay. He also have now the experience how to handle this pressure, and we will see in the future. He's also in the selection for the national team. So. Yes. Let's hope that he will start, because the last 2 games in the national team he didn't start. He was substitute player, but you must keep attention on these players. They are 22 years old. Even they play 1 game very bad, don't lose them. Give them confidence. They have a future for them.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Finally, let's talk about Gillespie Zonkarki that you just mentioned. So I'll start first. In the last edition of Nepal Super League, Gillespie started off not so good. We as analysts, we were a bit criticizing constructively because we knew his potential, what he could play, what he could have brought into the game. But as the competition went on, Gillespie just got finer with every game. And me personally, I went to him and I said, Gillespie, I was definitely one of the people who were criticizing your game, but you've turned the things around. Now listen to yesterday's pre-match or commentary. It was, you're going to hear good things that I said about you, not because I want to impress you, but I think because you deserve it from a commentator's or an analyst side. So what kind of things does Gillespie bring to the game, coach? And or like, what do you feel like his unexplored ability?
Okay. First of all, we played the competition now in short term.
Sure.
We had only 15, 60 days. We start 29 and the last game was 14. Gillespie came the night before our first game.
Yes.
So the national team was already arrived 2 days before, but because of military task he has to do, he has to stay 1 or 2 days longer they came from Malaysia, I think. So Malaysia, they played last game in Malaysia, and he was there. So he came the night. So first he played with national team 2 games on a high level, and he scored. He played well. He ran a lot and physical. Secondly, so he came very late. So recuperation was almost 0. Also when you have a flight from 7, 8 hours or 6, I don't know, from Malaysia exact. Then he was injured. Also, because the first game, he didn't start. I said, I put him on the bench because he also said, Coach, I'm not 100% ready. I'm not to start. I feel not myself a lot of energy. And he was also a little bit, so he came back with an injury from the national team. So first game, he came in because we were 2-0 down. We started remontada against Lalipool. We played fantastic at that moment. Thanks also of Gillespie because he came in. But that game asked so many energy from him, also so many mental strength that the next day his injury was also a little bit worse. So he didn't train, but we need him in the next game, and I put him again on the bench and so on. So and then he had to do some examinations for the military for his military position. So he was not on training during 2 or 3 days. So these are the things you don't know as commentator. Yeah.
Okay.
So and then so you have only 15 days. Don't forget we start 29 and 15. of April. And then the last game, I had to take him off because he was sick. Yeah, he didn't feel himself very well in the warming up. But then when he went out, we had 39 degrees for the last game against Sichuan. So I never could work with Gillespie as a 100% player with energy fit. Yeah, it was Gillespie. It was the name, but I could see he can make the difference for us and also for the Nepal football because he have capacity. But even in the 6 games that he played, or 5.5 or 5, he could score maybe 5-6 goals very easy. But because he was not 100% fit, also he missed this kind of chances. But he normally must score 2 or 3 also easy. So football, you don't know as commentator, as fans, all the information. But like I explained now, in 50 days, I've seen Gillespie maybe 2 times on training. And he came back from national team out of energy. And normally you should have like at least 74 hours, 72 hours between a game to recoup. He did a flight back in the last night, and then we had only 1 day. First game was easy because then we had 4 days to rest, but then we had game, 1 day rest, game, 1 day, and that was too much a little bit. So one of our key players was not 100% fit. So I hope now in national team, he have the time now to recover. Also the injury, his knee, that he will be again fit. You need him. He's also tall.
Even with not being fully fit, he was so lethal from the flank. He was putting those crosses in, especially the late crosses. He could beat those defenders so easily. So now we can imagine what a fit Gillespie would do.
That's what I mean. So even now, like I say, he could score 6 goals easy. He was good for us. But a fit Gillespie, he will crash the opponent for sure, because he was so many times in the last part of the field, in the box of the opponent. There he must a little bit, but he was not fit enough. That happened.
Especially taking a job in these kind of franchise tournament where you have shorter time and bigger achievement ambitions, goals. So it's kind of tricky as a coach, right? Once you take on the job, you have, as you mentioned, less number of hours to rest for the players. Once getting injured, you have your main player, he's getting injured. Suddenly you're one of the best players, he gets a red card. And that has all happened to Kathmandu Rayzrs.
Yeah, and we didn't score. We had one striker that we bring. We have normally, his data of him is that he scored every 2-3 games. He have 40 score, or you have decision pass. Now he played 6 games without scoring 1. It never happened. He also said, I don't know how it did happen. The striker was most in position to score.
Yes.
During all these games, he could have scored easy top scorer, but he also didn't feel. But no Gillespie make no this booyah, no. And then we were lucky that we had a young guy like Amadou, who we didn't expect to be so good at that moment to score. That he was there because we only scored 6 goals. We have 100 shots on the goal. We had 40 corners. We did all this data.
Exactly. Numbers in papers. Statistically, your team was playing good. Only thing missing, maybe it comes to luck at times.
Sometimes a bit of luck, sometimes also a little bit, talent, capacity, quality, a little bit. Because before the goal, Kane and all, they always score because they have the capacity to stay calm in this situation.
True.
A little bit pressure on some players that they wanted to perform. If they didn't score the first game and you had the chance the second game, and you've seen the chance. If you remember Vincent, there was a big chance that he was on the penalty spot for the keeper. He shoot on the keeper. The keeper make the reflex. Otherwise, it was Dangadi. Otherwise, it was 2-0 for us.
It
was then
yes,
1-3.
In the first half itself.
In the first half, we dominate them so well there. This is football. True. Football. If it was already decided before the game, you don't have to play. That's the nice thing.
True.
And but what made me most happy. Okay, we failed that we didn't qualify, but we bring good football. With 6 nationalities together, really good football. We don't try to play dominant football. our local players, they really adapt very well and also reach an higher level. But after this tournament, almost all these local players, they ask from me and an assistant coach to make individual plans because they feel also, wow, the way we train, because we train really a lot, 2 days, 2 times a day, they feel also this difference and they want to learn, and that was fantastic. So they are really open-minded.
Nice. That's nice.
That was great. Even now, also for my birthday today, I think almost everybody sent me a message, and I didn't see them in 1 week. So normally I say bye bye. Eh? This coach is already out my head, but still don't do it. This is sometimes, you know, when you come, like you say, in short time, there's a tournament, only one can win.
True.
Yeah, only one can win. But afterwards, what I said before, when you go, what did I do in the country? Maybe, okay, I give spirit, inspiration for a lot of players in my team. And then you are also as coach so happy that you filled in some expectations of these players, and that's nice. And then we stay in contact then, and you never know. Maybe one day I will help one player to go to Europe, to another team, to another team in Asia, another country, because they ask me also sometimes, do you know good players in Nepal? Yeah, we have good players in Nepal. Good players. Football is networking also.
Exactly.
Forget.
Exactly.
But if I came here and with stress on me that I had to win this tournament, only one can win.
True.
And we did our best, but it was a little bit, finally we had the same points, but we
goal difference.
Was goal difference. Okay. Happened.
How was Nepal Super League for you and our assistant coach as a whole? How was the experience?
It's always, wherever you go, every day in life, like I told you, I wake up with a positive mind. Every day in life is an experience. So this tournament was a new experience. Also, I learned things. Maybe I can change it a little bit, and next time I will do that a little bit. Yeah, it's always nice. But like I told you, I think our mission was complete. Only not the quality, but like I say, we played nice football, good football. We discovered a young talent player. We had a new national team player. We have contact with the players in human being level, not only as coach. That's also the values, the norms and the values of life of a coach, of a player, and that gives me so much inspiration. And then the country Nepal also.
So my last question to you is:
it stops already.
Would you come to Nepal again if you were invited as the director of football development for Nepal?
You offer me a job already.
You never know. You might get so.
Listen,
because you've already worked in management level, right? For a person like your CV, I think you're someone we need to have. Yes, there are coaches. Yes, there's there can be offer on the table some years down the line, but maybe suddenly you get a call. You were told not to go. Anything can happen, coach. I see life that way. Because things in my life has happened that way suddenly overnight, right? So funny thing, my debut commentary, it was never pre-planned. You met our broadcast director, right? So I called him in the morning of the South Asian Games. So because he told me to just stand by for the competition. I had never done commentary. Yupesh Tai. So I called him because there was someone else doing it and that guy was not good. And I, with the courage of never done commentary in my life in football, I call him and I say, at least I could have done better. And he says, okay, come.
Yeah.
That day I started and I'm on. You never know, coach.
You never know. First of all, thank you that you are so positive about my CV and my time here. I showed what I can do in short term. I can do a lot of things more. But that's not in my hands, so I'm not stressed for that. You know, in football, you're one job away from another job, one telephone. This is okay. You're Bob, like you said, they can call you. Another club can call me. Another country can call me to come. Where I can bring development. This is, like I say, I'm a pedagogue, a teacher. I want to bring this and I showed I can do it. And this now it's up to the people who really decide to do this. But what do you think if they call me? I say yes or no?
You should. You should say. You have to say yes.
I will say yes also. Yeah, because this impression also what I have now from the country, it gives me also inspiration. It's like I told you, now you are in my heart. Before you were only in my brain because I was here for a job. But now I've seen the country also, and I have to discover still more in the country.
True.
That's why I was in Morocco 2.5 years, and that when you really live in the country, then you really understand the country, the people. And I have now 2 months. It starts. Yeah. Don't forget, I came here with Happy Holi. That was.
Oh, you came in Holi?
This is the best thing. I was in 11 countries. You bring all these people together on the street. They make fun.
Yes.
Yeah. This gives inspiration. Maybe you saw some videos from my players at that moment. You can find it on Instagram also. Okay. They also have the same feeling. Yeah. Mane, for example, he don't want to leave Nepal. He was so happy with every time it was Happy Holi, Happy Holi. When we were in group together, sometimes somebody have to shout something. He always say Happy Holi. So it was like, yeah, this is things you stay in your mind. So I have only positive experience here. And if they need me, they have to call me. They have my number. You have my number.
Yes.
I hope we stay in contact also a little bit. And I thank you for this nice podcast. And let's see. And like you say, it's same for players. Huh? Sometimes they say, oh, this player has no chance. There is always one chance in life. Or maybe like you say, there's one guy who's injured. One guy has a red card. Vincent was not there. Another must take his chance.
Yeah, exactly.
But be ready. Be ready when your chance comes. Don't say, I was not ready. No. And this is in life also. One telephone. Okay, yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay, I come or I don't come.
Life changed.
Life changed, but it can change so quickly. Yeah,
True.
You can become sick. You can be this, you can that. You have and now like we are football coaches and we come from a country we adapt very well. Belgian people adapt very well because even in our small country we have 3 or 4 languages. We have Netherlands, Flemish, we have Dutch, we have French, we have English, and we have German. So we adapt very well to other cultures also, and that's why my pathway was around. Now Nepal was my 12th country, so it's nice. And other religions, learning this. I was in Pokhara. There you have 2 temples: the White Temple and the Buddha Temple. This White Temple, they give me also. You have to be quiet there.
Top.
Yeah.
You have to hike.
You have to be quiet.
Peace
there.
pagoda. Yeah.
You cannot speak. This silence, this inspiration, fantastic. Yeah. Football is also so hectic every day. True. And if you can come then in that kind of world, is also give you new spirit.
Wonderful. On that note, Coach, thank you so much for accepting my invitation for the podcast. I had a wonderful time, and I hope our viewers also have a wonderful time. And special thanks to Kathmandu Rayzrs for bringing these amazing people to Nepal, and to our assistant coach who's right there watching. Thank you so much. You've been a great friend in the stadium. But only regret, I have a complaint for you. You took in Gillespie for the team meeting. It was a big game. I'm just kidding. So overall, thank you guys for everything. Thank you, Kathmandu Rayzrs. Thank you, Piyush. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach.
I want to thank also in my name and in my assistant name and in my team name that you invite me here to explain a little bit how we see the things. We can go deeper. This is not the way here we will do, but in smaller meetings. I thank the fans from Kathmandu Rayzrs to support, but I thank also the spectators from this podcast. And please go on to watch podcasts. We do it in Belgium, we do it in other countries a lot, and it's so popular. And keep going to the stadiums with the family, with everybody, because the football has still a nice future here in Nepal.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Coach. Namaste. And happy birthday to you, Coach.
Thank you. Again.
Forever young.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. All right. Get out photo. We're done. We'll just take